Hello and welcome to StratNews Global. I'm Surya Gangadharan. This week, Bangladesh and India celebrate 50 years since the liberation of Bangladesh in 1971. As you're all aware, this was by the joint efforts of Bangladesh Mukti Bahini fighters and others, and by the Indian Armed Forces. It is seen as a seminal event in the relationship between our countries. This also marks the 100th birth anniversary of Sheikh Mujib, the founding father of Bangladesh. I have with me two leading figures from Dhaka, Professor Abdul Mannan, formerly vice-chancellor of Chittagong University, and Mr. Pijush Bandyopadhyay, a cultural activist, columnist, well-known in Bangladesh circles, and also have with me Mr. Pinak Ranjan Chakravarty, a former High Commissioner to Bangladesh. So we are going to talk about India-Bangladesh relations, where they are, where they are going. And very quickly, gentlemen, I'd like each of you to give me a brief, your sense of India-Bangladesh ties at this point in time. Professor Manan, would you please begin?
Thank you very much. I would first like to thank you and your organization for inviting us to this auspicious occasion. When you're talking about friendship or relationship between the two countries, I think the relationship and the friendship could not be even more better than what it is right now. We are enjoying a very warm relationship, as you know, as you have seen, already said that the Prime Minister of India, amidst this pandemic, is visiting Bangladesh to celebrate the 50th birth anniversary of Bangladesh and 100th, we just finished 100th birth anniversary of the founding father, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman.
Ambassador Chakravarty, your take.
Well, I would say that this is such a historic year in the sense that 50 years back, the geography of South Asia changed. It was a geopolitical earthquake, so to speak, in the height of the Cold War, in the teeth of opposition from the major powers at that time. Of course, except for the Soviet Union, which backed India and Bangladesh. So I think in a geopolitical sense, it was a very, very important event. And since then, I think the relations have grown in fits and starts, of course. That is the nature of relations between countries sometimes. But I think in the last decade or more, the kind of progress that has been made, we have not seen in the past. In the past 40 years, I would say. There have been ups and downs, there have been important achievements. But the last decade or so, a little more, I would say from 2007 onwards, there have been phenomenal progress. One reason, of course, is that we've managed to put behind us some of the issues, like the land boundary agreement, maritime boundary agreements, etc. Then again, trade has taken over, connectivity has increased. I mean, I am looking forward to the day when I can sit on a fast train in Delhi, have breakfast, maybe lunch in Kolkata and dinner in Dhaka. Indeed, at the Dhaka club, which I used to frequent a lot when I was there. Thanks.
Good point, Ambassador. Good point. Mr. Pijush Bandyopadhyay?
So the relationship is there. Blood bond is of blood. What your Prime Minister has said, what our Prime Minister is saying every time. The relationship between India and Bangladesh based on blood relationship. So there are a lot of other things too to discuss and to describe. We have a historic relationship. It was Bharat Barsho was one country, one state, and it was culturally, historically, everything is too related, too much relative. And West Bengal and Tripura and Bangladesh, we speak in the same language.
Yeah.
So even in Assam, a lot of Bengali words are there.
Yeah.
It was in Sylhet. Sylhet was also Assam. So that's the thing. The relationship between India and Bangladesh, bilateral relationship, is always better. It would be the best in the future too.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. You struck a very cultural note, I noticed. Now let's move away from the fact that everything is good and all that. We all know and acknowledge that. There are constant undercurrents in the India-Bangladesh relationship. One does always get the sense that something is going under, that politically there's some kind of a gap between the two leaderships, that there is a upsurge of anti-Indian sentiment in Bangladesh. Professor Manan, can you give us some clarity on this? Why does this happen? Or is this just something which is for the course, par for the course in any relationship?
Well, I would not say there's an anti-Indian, sentiment. I would say there are certain differences on certain issues, which especially the present generation, who has not seen the liberation war, or they missed 21 years. You must remember, for 21 years, Bangladesh was ruled by military dictators or military rulers. So
Yeah.
that is when the real history of the country was put in a basket and locked. So the present generation, they do not know many of the things of the past of 1971, 1972, 1973, and successive years, till the assassination of the father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. And only when Sheikh Hasina took over in 1996 for the first time, things started to improve. Again, 2001, it again dipped.
Yeah.
Again, starting in 2009, again it picked up. So I would not say that there is any sort of a problem, but there are many missing links. There are missing information that present generation needs to understand, needs to know. And there is there used to be always, as Pinak, His Excellency Pinak Ranjan was here, he knows that there's always a group of people who always, opposed whatever Bangladesh stands for. They always liked whatever Pakistan stood for, not realizing what damage it has done to this country itself. So this generation needs to be, educated on the real history of the country, real bondage between the two countries. When 1971 we were in the war.
Okay. Ambassador Chakravarty, you had a ringside view of Bangladesh when you were High Commissioner there. I believe 2007 to 2009, if I'm not mistaken. Would you say these undercurrents persist? And what would you put your finger on exactly?
In Dhaka, and I was there, and I wanted to talk to some young people there who were, by the way, supporting Pakistan. So I asked them, and they were obviously the post-independent generation. They were young. So I asked them, I chatted with them. They didn't know who I was. I asked them, why are you supporting Pakistan? So the answer I got is very revealing. They say, because it is a Muslim country. So I think the remnants of the Pakistani way of thinking remains in certain quarters, and it is being imbibed by certain the younger generation also. There is also, I am afraid, that there is a rise in consciousness, religious consciousness, I would call it, or whatever you want to call it. I mean, maybe conservatism to some extent, and the growth of the madrasas and things like that with foreign money, that has also contributed to a certain sort of an ambience or a certain influence on the younger generation.
Mr. Bandyopadhyay, from a cultural perspective, would you say that over the last, say, maybe 10, 20 years, the India, Bangladesh have grown apart culturally? Have they come closer? What is your sense?
It's a nice question. Sometimes I become very confused with why people here taking all the facilities from India in health section, in cultural section, in education and everything. When they're coming back, no, India is bad. I don't know. I don't have any answer. But what His Excellency was mentioning about the hockey match, I was there in the stadium. I found a lot of people, a lot of young boys, and it was organized. There are a lot of Biharis, refugees here. They were brought in that match, and they were shouting, "They're for Pakistan." It's a legacy. When I was young in 50s or early 60s, to us, Hanif Mohammad was the best player of the world in cricket. Fazl Mahmood was the best bowler in the world.
Yeah.
We didn't have the name of Jaisima or Umrigar or Manjarekar or others. Selim Durrani. We used to know the name of Selim Durrani as because he was Muslim. So he was known to East Pakistanis and Farooq engineer.
Sorry, let me just come to Professor Abdul Mannan in this connection. I think, yeah. Professor Mannan, the issues between India and Bangladesh are well known. Teesta waters, connectivity, our claims about illegal infiltration from Bangladesh, are these, in that sense, rocking the boat completely to a point where things are going under? Would you say it's that serious?
I would say so. First, let me clarify one thing. Very often I hear the word called illegal immigration from Bangladesh. I don't see any reason under the present context, economic development of Bangladesh, there will be any organized illegal immigration to India. Okay.
Yeah.
Currently in Bangladesh, officially there are 500,000 foreigners working in our different sectors, and bulk of them are from India, especially in textiles and in IT. Okay, how many are illegal? How many are illegal? We have no idea. Okay, if you go to Kumilla, most of the people working in sweetmeat shops in this stuff, making handloom, they all come from Tripura. They come here for 15 days. They come for 1 month. They don't need any passport or any visa. Okay. One thing I want to specifically say: the Northeast Indian states, 7 states. Yesterday, today I'm looking at the paper. I was looking at the newspaper that Mizoram wants. Mizoram is a landlocked place. Mizoram wants to use Chittagong port. Okay, but unfortunately, we do not have any good connectivity. The government is working on that connectivity with Mizoram. So Mizoram wants to use Chittagong port for import of or getting goods from other parts of India. So today, Northeast India, which was infested with secessionists, insurgents, today is completely stopped. And we should thank our Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, who has dealt it with a very heavy hand. You perhaps will remember His Excellency Pinak Babu will remember the haul of 10 trucks of arms in 2002, which was destined for Northeast India. Okay, it was accidentally intercepted. Now, this was intercepted, one consignment. No one knows how many consignments were there. During Pakistan time, when I went to the war, I was a student, finally a student of Dhaka University. I was quite adult to understand all these things. Now, during Pakistan time, the Lal Denga, who later on became the chief minister of Mizoram when it was made into a state, he had an office in Dhaka where Pakistan helped him the insurgency. As soon as Bangladesh became a reality, Bangabandhu took over, he had to pack up and go. So today, Northeast India is as secure as possible as any part of India. So security of a country is the best gift that the neighboring country can give, and we provided that.
Things like Teesta waters, connectivity. Is there a sense you get that India is being overbearing? Are we being overbearing in that sense towards Bangladesh, demanding but giving little?
Well, that is, of course, certainly one of the political issues in the domestic political arena in Bangladesh, where the opposition keeps pillaring Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina for giving away too much to India and not getting enough in return. Well, that is the political issue which the opposition often uses. Now, let me come to the river waters. We are, of course, responsible for the Teesta agreement, which was initialed, but we could not sign it because of our own domestic issues. And everybody knows about it, that the West Bengal government was unwilling to agree to that kind of a sharing of waters. There is a much bigger debate on sharing of waters because today there is much less water, far greater population, much more water-intensive agriculture. So per head availability of water has drastically come down. Apart from the fact that climate change is also affecting the source of the waters in the glaciers. The Teesta, for example, originates in a glacier above Sikkim. So I think these are some of the issues. One has to look at it not just, I have X amount of water, so I should get Y amount of water. It's not that simple anymore. Migration. I'm not going to use the word illegal migration, because migration has been a phenomenon.
Fact of life.
Since British times. I mean, since
Absolutely.
people moved here and there, etc., and all that, for whatever reasons, it's a long story. But after the Radcliffe Line came in, which is the border, when Bengal was partitioned, the border, of course, was made overnight by this gentleman called Radcliffe, who had never been here. He was brought in and for a few days and asked to demarcate on the basis of certain population census. Anyway, there's an old story. Sylhet, for example, had a referendum because Sylhet was actually coming to India because it was part of Assam. So there was a referendum, and Sylhet wanted to go to Pakistan. So anyway, that's a long historical story. The point is that even after 1971, which is the kind of cutoff date for some what people say illegal migration, there has been migration. I mean, let's face it. I think it is time to face the fact that there has been migration and get to how to resolve it. There has been hundreds of discussions in Delhi, and I've been part of them. And we have thrown up many solutions how to do it. Work visa solution, etc. We do have work visas, but the benchmark is too high. And $25,000 minimum you have to earn a year. So those figures are too high. So today, I think we are trying to deal with it in the form of human trafficking. There is human trafficking. There is no denying that. Human trafficking, particularly the bad part is women and children. They are trafficked to various. I don't even want to mention where they land up ultimately. Some of them even are sent to Karachi, for various, nefarious purposes. So I think human trafficking goes on and is continuing. And the same channels that do cattle smuggling, foreign currency smuggling, drug smuggling, is the same channels. The same guys are involved in it. The border is porous. Let us face it. It's a long border. There is fencing on most part of it, but much of the border is riverine in the sense that the river forms the border, and you cannot fence it. So I think that those are the places where lots of people come. The other thing is, of course, that people have done this for generations in the past. There's a crossover, buy something, go back, do something, etc. Relatives, all these things are there. One way we tried to deal with it was to open up border hearts. Okay, you guys want to trade with each other across the border? Let's have a border heart. You can do, small little trading here and there to satisfy your local needs, etc. The problem is you cannot, how do you keep the border airtight or people tight, as we sometimes say? It's not possible. And hence, that is what happens when some conflict takes place. So the BSF, gets into conflict with some. Mainly, these are smugglers, mainly criminals and smugglers, mainly. Once in a while, there are some innocent people who get caught in it. But I think this is something that we cannot eliminate totally, because that means going after the criminal mafia and eliminating them. That is the main thing, and that should happen on both sides. It cannot happen on one side. So I think these are some of the issues that we need. We are doing a lot, coordinated patrolling, all kinds of intelligence sharing. I mean, it's a totally different relationship where we are doing a lot more and trying to see that how do we solve these problems. But basically, don't forget that from the legal route, or shall we say legal visitors, Bangladeshis form the highest number that come to India among all foreigners. I mean, this is a fact. The highest number of visas given by India to any country is Bangladesh. And they are the ones who are some of our major tourist places. They come for education, all kinds of things. And India is a preferred destination, and we welcome that, because this is something natural between neighbors. It should be, etc. But I think those who don't want to take a visa and come, they are also,
They will come.
that's also natural sometimes, given our history, given the fact that we belong to one country. One last point on connectivity, railways, etc. Don't forget, we were all very connected at one time.
Yeah.
Think about Chittagong. Chittagong was the natural port for the Northeast at one time.
Yeah.
And the railways, etc. Till 65, I am told that people could go across the border without passports. It's only the 65 war that broke up the rail links, broke up everything. Passports then were insisted, visas came in, etc. Can you imagine from 47 to almost 65 pre-war? It was a free flow of people almost coming and going. I know that because this is what I've seen and I've been told. I was, of course, in school then, but these are stories that one has heard. Thanks.
Pijush Bandyopadhyay, what is the dominant cultural trait among young people in Bangladesh today? I mean, what is it that they respond to, that they look up to, that they're influenced by? What is it?
Most of the young people here, they're dominated and they're, should I say, they're fond of Western culture, rather Indian subcontinental culture. But apart from those, there is a strong stream here who are doing pure cultural activities, theater, songs, and music, films. They are very much related with India. So, nothing to be worried about.
So, I hope it's not Bollywoodization, sir. I hope you're not talking of Bollywood.
Why not?
Isn't that the lowest common denominator here?
Bollywood.
Oh, yes, the young people here are very much fond of Salman Khan, Shah Rukh Khan. All these Khans are very much relative, very much popular here. Amir Khan, I'm also Khan. So that's not the thing. Another thing is, I think its time is over. But I should say, we are carrying legacy of Pakistan period, 50s, 60s. In 70, when Awami League won the election under the leadership of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, almost 30% of voters, they didn't vote for Awami League. These 30% voters were in favor of Pakistan. They were not in favor of Sheikh Mujib. They were in favor of Pakistan. They didn't want the Pakistan to be broken, and they didn't want the liberation war. So, in 71, these 30%, almost 30%, they were in favor of Pakistan. They were against our liberation war. And some opportunist groups, they also came in. So this is the one thing. Number two, from very beginning, from very 16 December, the day we were liberated, near the surrender to Manekshaw, Aurora. From that day, there is a word here we can feel, we can justify. The word is conspiracy. Conspiracy against Bangladesh, conspiracy against the relationship with India, conspiracy against the secularism, conspiracy against the heritage and everything, or language or culture. And in 75, when Bangabandhu, our father of the nation, was assassinated, after that, 21 years, the Bangladesh went back as a mini Pakistan. And the people who used to rule the country, they were deadly against India, they were deadly against secularism, they were deadly against everything. And they brought all the Islamic values and cultures in our society. 21 years, not a matter of joke. So this time, the generation, the boys and girls grew up. Even they didn't know the name of Father of the Nation. Even they they didn't know the name of, they didn't know anything about our liberation war. They gave them the wrong information, wrong history, distorted history. Now we are back. What High Commissioner of His Excellency Pinak Chakravarty was telling, he was here in a crucial time. He has seen a lot of things from inside. He was here in 2006, 7, 8, 9. It was a very crucial time for Bangladesh.
Yeah.
But after that, for the last 12 years, we have gone too high, too far.
Nice to know
No,
that.
now still we have far to go to reach the goal. But we are reaching goals.
Yeah.
And the neighborhoods like India, even Bhutan, Nepal, Sri Lanka, Maldives, especially India, they were with us like a shadow, what should I say, guide, philosopher, and everything. So when we are asked that the people are against India, I personally don't believe. Even our Prime Minister doesn't believe.
Yeah.
There are conflicts. It's very natural. What Professor Mannan mentioned, 10 trucks of arms and weapons, ammunitions.
Yeah.
We stopped it. Sheikh Hasina, government, and others. Our mass media people also played a very vital role. It came
So
up.
in my last round, sir, Professor Manan, what is it that you would like to see going forward in India-Bangladesh relations?
Thank you. Nothing could be more important than person-to-person relationship. Number one. Secondly, because remember that India has a population of 1+ billion people.
Yeah.
And Bangladesh has a population of, who is making the calculation, it depends on that, 170 or 180 million people. I want to forget all other countries in the region. If these two countries can come together on the economic fronts, I'm not talking about politics or any other thing, economic fronts, imagine the might of the market, might of the economy. India has $1 trillion economy. Bangladesh currently has $390 million economy. Okay, and we have just graduated, very lucky for us, on 50th year of our independence to graduate, what do you call, middle income country. If these two countries can come together, form a free trade, agreement that we will allow many of our products to go to India. India will allow many of their products to come to India, to come to Bangladesh without much of tax barriers or non-tax barriers. I think the people's plight, people's economic condition will improve much farther than it is right now. I want the economic ties to grow, keeping our sovereignty intact, keeping our dignity intact of each country, and of all the things we want people to people, that relationship to grow further. The visa, as when Mr. was here, once I had a long chat with him in Hotel Westin. I'm not sure if he remembers about easing the visa restriction, visa issue, and it has been done. Last year, in 1 year, 1.5 million Indian visa were given to Bangladeshi people, and that 1.5 million people, not that all are going to India. Imagine the amount of money they bring to India, the foreign exchange that comes to India, and you'll be surprised to know that the neighboring districts of Calcutta, Jessore to Khulna, to all these places, during the next coming Eid vacation, if there was no pandemic, people would go for Eid shopping to Calcutta instead of coming to Dhaka, because it is much cheaper and much easier to go to Calcutta. So at any time I go to Calcutta, I find every second person on the streets of Bangladesh, the streets of Calcutta, or in the hotel, is from Bangladesh. So Bangladesh
Ambassador
and India's
Chakravarty.
relationship depends
Yeah.
not on government, but on the people. We need to have more of interaction between people to people. We need to have much more seminars and interactions like this we are having today. The more we have this, I think, more closer we can become, and more misunderstandings that we have amongst us can be wiped out. Thank you very much.
Ambassador Chakravarty, we're in the last round. So, what's your take? What do we need to do to get this relationship moving forward? I mean, it's already moving forward, but what more can we do?
Well, we have this concept of G to G, that's government to government, P to P, people to people, and then B to B, business to business. I think these are the three major platforms on which I think we have been proceeding. There is no doubt that connectivity will bring in more business, bring in more people, and facilitate a lot of travel and business arrangements. There are some very wonderful things that have happened, like a ship can go from Haldia to Chittagong, and it can unload, and from there by truck it goes to Agartala, from where it is distributed in the north. We have done another very important thing, that we are connecting Cox's Bazar to Agartala by fiber optic cable, so that internet facility from the undersea cable which is the gateway as far as Bangladesh is concerned, can also get into the northeast, which will speed up internet, will speed up banking, will speed up a lot of things. So these are the kind of innovative things that are being done with Bangladesh. And I will go back to the point about security, which Professor Mannan talked about. It is beyond doubt and beyond debate that the government of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has contributed immensely to our problem of insurgency by cracking down on these insurgent groups that had camps in Bangladesh, which is a fact, and that is how we got together and we tried to fix this. So I think this is something very important. And I think the process ahead really is that we have to trade more. We have to invest more. And this is what we are going ahead with. Bangladesh is going to graduate out of the LDC status, but then it will get time up to 2026. I think we also need to very badly now to get into a free trade agreement or a comprehensive economic partnership agreement, which will enable a CEPA, for example, will enable trade in services, which is where people come in. When people can go and work in each other's country, that's the kind of thing we should be planning for at this stage of, let me say, for the next 20, 30 years. So that is what we should be doing at the moment.
Sir, Mr. Bandyopadhyay, last word from you.
So I will talk very few because everything is told by Professor Mannan and Pinak Chakravarty. So I will simply say that we should work together in the future for more security, for more stability and development. We should work against the radicalism, which sometimes it goes up and which disturbs our basic philosophy of both the country, the historical philosophy, that is secularism. We both believe in secularism. So this is the ancient philosophy of Indian soil, and as well as in eastern part of Bengal also. So that's the thing. I am with Professor Mannan, and that is investment in people.
Yeah.
Investing in people. People to people relationship is my desire. And I think it's growing up, and it will grow up also to tackle all the conspiracies or all the challenges, and will bring more opportunities out of these challenges. And India and Bangladesh relationship, the friendship, will stay longer. That's my dream. I think it's a dream of people, majority people of the country.
So just to sum up broadly, that there is a lot that is good in the India-Bangladesh relationship. There are undercurrents, and there will be undercurrents. There will be periods of tension, but the idea is to be forward-looking, positive, and to constantly work with each other, since we are neighbors and we can't go anywhere else. So, gentlemen, pleasure talking to you all. Even Ambassador Chakravarty, he's not, I think the connection is gone, but it's been a pleasure talking to you all, and thank you so very much.
Thank you to you.
Thank you
Surya.
very much, too.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you, Mr. Surya.